Hello everyone, welcome to this tutorial. My name is Mehdi from 2D Redbox channel, and today in this video we will learn how to texture a pistol inside Substance Painter and turn this simple model to this. So before starting the process and jumping into the video, let me introduce the latest course that we release for Substance Painter, and after that we jump into video and start the texturing process. Learning Substance Painter is easier than ever. Hey all substance lovers, texturing seekers, and awesome future artists. Welcome to Ultimate Course for learning Substance Painter from zero to hero. Ready to learn how to texture with different projects? Substance Master released a brand new course for those who want to learn to texture with Substance Painter. In this course, we cover from preparing the model to rendering different projects, different challenges. If you want to level up your skill in texturing, come and check the Substance Master Ultimate course for learning Substance Painter. Okay, now let's start the process. This model is a pre-made one. I get it from CG Trader website. It's free. You can download it as your own. The link in the description got you over there. And the most important thing and the most important challenge in this video is working on pre-made stuff. We don't access to high poly model. Okay, we just only access to one single normal map. Okay, and this is very important. We want to bake mesh maps like ambient occlusion, curvature, border space, normal, depends on the normal map that we have, and create a new texture for this model. It's kind of retexturing, like relighting for lighting artists. It's very good to understand how to create different material on different model. And that's it. So let's start. I'm going to import the normal map that I have, okay, to the project folder. Okay, let me import. Yeah, as a texture to the project piece tool. Okay, we have it here. And I'm going to put it on normal input in a texture set setting. Okay, this is 4K. It's DirectX, exactly with the format that we have inside Substance Painter. If you use, for example, OpenGL, you need to flip the green channel inside Photoshop or anywhere else. So let's see what we have. Yeah, the viewport is updated and we can see the details on the model. Okay, that's great. Let's go to the bake mesh maps. And in here, I'm going to change output size to 4K, put super sampling 64 for anti-aliasing. And because we don't have any high poly, the decay does not matter. And the most important thing is check off the normal. And you need to go to the curvature and change the method to generate from normal map, and the algorithm should be on per pixel. So after this, you just need to select bake textures, and it's going to bake all the detail into the mesh maps, and you can use it in the texturing process. So let's wait. After baking the mesh maps, we continue our way. Okay, now it's time to check the bake maps. This is the curvature. Okay, let's start with the normal. This is a normal that we have already and imported from outside the Substance Painter. This is the border space normal. This is the ambient occlusion, curvature, and thickness. So we are good to go. We can start the texturing process. And the first phase is creating a category for having different surfaces. For example, I have wood and overall metal for this one. So let's create it. This is for wood and this is for metal. And let's put it 2 layer here. one with green, one with blue, so we can see what's happening. Let's add black mask here. Okay, let's add a paint, and let's choose this one and this one. Okay, we have some metal part here, so let's add another paint layer. Change the blending mode to subtract, go to the paint mode. Okay, turn on the symmetry. Maybe it's worked, maybe, I don't know. Okay, put it on Z. Yeah, I think it's okay. So we can remove some area here like this. And I'm going to add an anchor point here. In the metal section, I'm going to load this anchor point. Okay. And just simply, we can invert it. So we have the metal surface in the blue area and the wood in red area. So let's create the wood at the first, and after that we can continue the process with the blue and the metal. The structure is so simple for creating wood layer. Okay, let's rename this wood, and let's search about the wood in the resources, and I'm going to choose wood plane, which is a default resource that you can find inside Substance Painter. It's a very good and useful resource inside Painter. Okay, and now I have this result. Okay, let's go and change the global distortion to something like 75. I think it's okay. Let's change the wood color, okay, to something like this. Okay, that's great. And I'm going to change the wood stain saturation to give and reach this result. Okay, for the wood roughness, we can play with the roughness too. I'm going to increase the veins color variation. Okay, we have this. And for the veins density, let's decrease it to something like this. Okay, that's great. Let's go change the blending projection. Okay, now it's time to change the projection to triplanar. Okay, that's great. And let's put -90. Okay, now I have a good shape here. It's very good. Okay, let's go back to the layers. And now let's, for example, remove some volume from the fibers, and yeah, maybe some tweaking on these options. Okay, color fade. And that's great. This is a good starting point. Okay, let's add a fill layer. I'm going to call it color variation gradient. I just need to keep the color, go to the white, change the blending mode to soft light. Okay, and go to the black mask, go to the generator, and let's add 3D linear. Okay, and we can play with the balance. That's great. So we can change it to dark color or bright color. I'm okay with the bright, so let's keep it like this. And let's add another fill layer. I'm going to call it grain darken. Okay, it's like helping this texture to have more darken value in the grain section. So let's add anchor point here. Okay, on the wood. go to the grain darken, add the black mask, go to the fill, add a filter. Okay, the filter should be blur. Go to the fill and load anchor point. So this is a mask that we have without blur and with blur. Okay, so I just need to have color and roughness. Roughness should be on high value, for example, 95. And for the color, okay, I go with the black, change the opacity to something like 50. Okay, now we have some dark value in the wood. That's great. Okay, let's add a color variation and a roughness variation. For the color, I just need to have color. For the roughness, I just need to have roughness. Okay, so this is for roughness. Let's go with the 0.6, or maybe we can take it as a mid gray. Go to the mask, add fill. Okay, and let's load some smoothie vibe. Okay, I think, yeah, this one is good. Let's go here. Just increase tiling to something like 3, or we can choose it as 4. Okay, and let's bring up the contrast and the balance. Okay, we can invert it. Yeah, that's fine. So we have the roughness value. Go to the color variation. Let's add a black mask. Go to the add fill. Okay, and here I'm going to search about the paint peeled grunge. It's a very good grunge for creating color variation. Okay, let's change the projection to triplanar. Okay, that's fine. Let's go to the balance. Okay, play with the balance. Yeah, I think it's good. Maybe we should back it to UV projection. Yeah, it's so much better. Okay, and I'm going to decrease the opacity of the mask because I don't want to have, strong effect. Okay, so 50 is enough. And for the color, we can go with, for example, orange. And we can change the blending mode to something like overlay. So let's increase the opacity. Now we have some color variation here, like this. Okay, we can increase styling to 2. Okay, and we can play with the balance too. Can use the invert. Let's see what we have. Yeah, I think it's better to use invert one. So this is for the color variation. This is for the roughness variation. Let's go change it to 60. Okay, that's great. Let's check the roughness variation. That's fine. And let's go add another layer. I'm going to call it dark edge fade. Okay, it's like giving some dark gradient from the outside. Okay, so we need the color in a black mode and change it to soft light, so we can have dark value of the texture that we have already. That's great. So let's add black mask, go to the generator, and I'm going to use the curvature generator here. Okay, let's increase the global balance. Okay, it's not working well. Okay, let's go for the UV border. Yeah, I think it's better. Yeah, yeah, some dark value in here. And we can add another generator, use, for example, dirt. Okay, let's combine them together. Boom, we have this. Okay, let's decrease the opacity to 60. Okay, that's fine. And now it's time to add the edge damage layer. Okay, it's like edge damage. Okay, it's need just color, height, and roughness. Okay, roughness should be on 1. Okay, we need negative height value, something like negative 0.1, and the color should be on white because I'm going to use soft light here. So that's it. Let's add the black mask. I'm going to add a generator here. Okay, metal edge. That's great. So we can decrease the wear level, wear contrast, grunge amount. Okay, play with the edge smoothing, curvature weight. Okay, so we have this result. That's great. And let's add a fill layer. And in this fill layer, I'm going to use the cloud number 2 mask, put it on subtract. Okay. And just play with the balance and contrast. And change the projection to triplanar. Now we have some, variation on the edge and surface damage that we have here. Okay, we can decrease the opacity and we can add a paint layer, change the blending mode to linear dodge. Okay, go here into the brush section. Okay, for example, choosing one of these brush preset here, maybe this one. Okay, and let's start the painting. Yeah, we can paint this kind of detail to achieve more realistic look. We can use stencil, it doesn't matter. Okay, and I'm going to pause the video, paint this kind of detail, and back here to create the metal section. Okay, now it's time to focus on metal section. Let's go and create metal base here. I need metallic on 1, roughness on 0.1, and the color should be something like white. Okay, and let's go add the gradient color variation. Okay, gradient, and I'm going to add the black mask. Go here, just keep the color, the black one. Okay, go to the mask, add generator, use 3D linear. Okay, that's great. I want to use 3D linear gradient and change it from here to here. So I need to go to the position mesh maps, and this is the start point, and this is the end point. And when I back to the mask area, as you can see, we have this mask. It's super good. Okay, maybe, yeah, this one is better. And I'm going to decrease the value to 60. Yeah, it's better. And let's add two color variation. The color variation number 2 and number 3, because the number 1 is gradient. Let's rename this. Okay. And we just need to have color. Okay. And for this one, let's go for, some dark brown like this. As you can see. Okay. And for the second one, let's go pick something like, yeah, yellowish color. Okay. So let's add black mask for both of them. For the first one, I keep with the normal blending mode, but the opacity should around, I don't know, 30, for example. And let's go add fill. Okay, and let's load cloud number 2. And I'm going to blur it. Okay, that's great. Change projection to triplanar. Okay, that's good. Maybe play with balance like this. And I need to increase the blur intensity to something like 2. Okay, this is for the yellow color. And let's go for the brown. Okay, I need to copy this mask to color variation number 3. And let's just give some rotation to that. Okay, that's great. Can decrease this. Maybe increase tiling a little. And for the blending mode, let's go for the overlay. And I'm going to change the opacity to 70, for example. Yeah, we have good color variation right now. As you can see, this is the pure white. I add the gradient. Okay, we can control it like this. And we have this color variation. And at the end, we have this one. So it's okay. And now I'm going to add another fill layer. And I'm going to call it harden effect. Okay. So, and this is like color variation number 4. Okay. And let's add a black mask. We need to have just simple color. Okay. And I'm going to add a sublayer to this. Just keep color and give clouds number 2. Okay. Let's go to the black mask, add generator, and I'm going to use curvature. Okay, now I'm going to the mask mode, use global invert and decrease the global balance, or maybe we can decrease it. Okay, we have this area. That's great. And let's go back to the layer itself, go to the fill layer. Now it's time to go to the material mode. Okay. That's great. Let's use a filter like blur and bring up the intensity. Okay. And now I'm going to use another filter, HSL. Okay. And for this one, let's decrease the lightness to something like 30. Okay. It's great. Let's go here. And we can use the blur. Okay. Yeah. That's great. Now it's time to create roughness variation, edge highlight, linear brush effect, and some scratch and edge wear and surface dirt. So let's do that. Okay, let's create edge highlight layer here. And I just need to have roughness. Go to the black mask, add generator. Okay, now I need to have metal edge. Okay, that's great. Let's decrease the grunge amount and grunge scale. Okay, and play with his slider. And let's add a filter like blur slope to create some variation. Okay, like this. And I'm going to multiply a grunge like concrete burnt to this mask. Okay, like this. It's great. Let's change it to curvature. So it's not working. Let's go back to metal edge. And maybe we need to remove this area here. So let's add paint, go to the subtract, go here to the 2D view, and just remove this area from this effect. And now we are done and we can continue the process. So that's great. Okay, so we have the edge highlight layer. Now it's time to create roughness variation layer. Roughness variation. Okay, let's keep just roughness on 1. And let's go to the black mask. Let's add a fill layer. And I'm going to search about the wipe dusty. It's a good map. As you can see, we have super cool detail on the model. Let's change tiling to 2. And yeah, it's okay. So I'm going to add a roughness adjustment layer to control all the roughness data together. So let's add paint layer, and I'm going to call it roughness adjust. Okay, and let's change the blending mode to pass through and apply to all channel. So now I'm going to add a filter, and the filter that I'm going to use is HSL, and we want to play with the data in roughness channel. So it's like we can increase the lightness, decrease the lightness, okay, and control the roughness value in a way that I need and I want. So before roughness adjust, let's create a fill layer. Okay, and I'm going to call it brushed effect. Okay, let's add a filter. Let's search about the brushed linear. Okay, that's great. And let's keep all the layers off here. And I just need to have normal here. Okay, increase the scale, play with the brush intensity. Okay, and that's fine. That's great. So let's go for the next layer. Okay, for the next layer, I'm going to create dark edge fades. It's like the layer that we have in the wood. Okay, we need to have color and roughness. Roughness should be on 1, color should be on black. Okay, and for the base color, I'm going to change the opacity to 50. Okay, that's great. And let's add a generator to the mask. Okay, I need to add the black mask at the first. Let's go to the generator, and here I'm going to add the curvature. Okay, that we have something like this, and I'm going to increase the global blur here. And as you can see, we have this effect. Okay, let's add a surface dirt. Okay, and for the surface dirt, I'm going to add a black mask. Okay, and let's add the fill layer. And we need some grunge like dirt theme. Yeah. And let's change the tiling to number 2. Okay, and change projection to triplanar. That's great. And now I'm going to keep color, roughness, and metallic. Only this one I need. Okay, for the roughness should be on 1. For the metallic should be on 0 because dirt is not metallic surface. And let's go for the brown surface. Like this one. Okay, but it's too much, it's too strong. So we can decrease the opacity of the mask. Okay, so let's keep it on 60. Yeah, I think it's okay. So let's go for the edge wear. Some details on the edge. Let's add the black mask. Go to the generator. I'm going to use the metal edge generator here. Let's decrease the grunge scale. Play with the grunge amount. Okay, and let's add a fill layer. Change the blending mode of this fill layer to subtract and use the grunge map number 13. I think it's a good option. Okay, and let's change the projection mode to triplanar. Okay, as you can see, and we can play with the balance and contrast to control the effect. So it's okay to have some edge wearing here. Okay, that's great. And let's go for the layer, and we need to adjust the data in the layer. So we need color, height, roughness, and metallic. For the height, let's go for the, I don't know, maybe negative 0.01. Okay, it's a safe value. And let's increase metallic to something like 90 or 9. And we can play with the roughness. Okay, that's great. And we can have a scratch layer. Okay, it's so simple to have color, height, roughness. Change the blending mode of the color to soft light. Go to the white value, pure white. Okay, go to the black mask, fill layer. And in here, I can search about the scratch. So we can use so many type of scratch that we have here. For example, this one. Yeah, I think this one is good. Okay, but it's too generic. We need to control the value that we need. Okay, let's add another layer like vibe. Okay, maybe, yeah, this one. We can increase styling, play with the balance and contrast, and change the blending mode to linear dodge. And as you can see, we have some scratches. That's great. So let's decrease the reflective surface parameter. Okay, we are done. Okay, but for the roughness, I think this dark edge fade uh, make this material so boring. So I need to go to the roughness channel and decrease the opacity of the roughness here to something like this one. Okay, so that's great. And now it's time to change some parameters to achieve more cleaner look. For example, this roughness variation can be more slider, okay, or even on the scratch, we can have slighter value. Okay, that's great. Maybe for edgeware, it can have more slide effect. That's great. Okay, now it's time to add the overall dirt. Okay, let's add the black mask, go to the base color, change the generator to dirt. Okay, that's great. And now it's time to set up the layer. We just need to have the color and roughness. For the roughness, maybe mid-gray is good. For the base color, yeah, we can go for the dark value and change the blending mode to soft light and just play with the opacity and something like this. Okay, that's great. And we can add sharpen layer here. Let's change the blending mode to pass through, apply to all channel. Go here and add sharpen effect. It's great. Put it on half. Okay, that's great. So now it's time to control the layers that we have. Okay, let's turn off all the layers. Okay, this is the metal base. This is the color variation number 1. Okay, this is the color variation number 2. Let's keep dirt off. And this is the color variation number 3. So I can go here and decrease the opacity to 80. Okay, this is the color variation number 4. Okay, we can play with the opacity here too. This is the edge highlight. We can put it upper roughness variation, brush effect. Okay, let's control it. Brush intensity. Okay, and this is for roughness adjustment. So we can control the roughness value here, like this. Okay, this is for a scratch. Yep, we can decrease the opacity for the base color too, not just only for the roughness. And this is the edgeware. Okay, it's good. This is the dirt surface dirt. And in here, we can decrease the opacity of the color. And let's go to the roughness and check what we have. Okay, now we can decrease it to 32. Okay, that's great. We can even play the opacity that we have here. Okay, this is the dark edge fade effect. That's great. This is the overall dirt. And now we can add text on the material and we are ready to go. We can even work more on this material, add more detail, like using a stencil, use some color variation on the edge and this kind of stuff. But I think it's enough for this video. If you like this video, please hit the like, subscribe the channel, share your mind in the comment section, and be creative. Bye.